What is the crack, lads, and welcome back to another video. So we're banging out the videos today. I was going to say something else there, but I thought against it. Anyway, I'm a bit hyper today. So we've got a new update file. We've already covered the console version of the game. We'll keep this a little shorter and a little sweeter because there is not as much like new stuff. A lot of the stuff that they've talked about with the console version, such as the UI stuff, such as like the missions, the match pass, all that sort of stuff. We've already covered that in 3 videos by now. So there'll be 2 videos up and another video coming out. I will be doing a dedicated match pass video later on today. So this is just kind of like a news update. I had a video yesterday that covered all the new events. Obviously the new events, the content, the cards, all that, epic cards, legends, all that. That is linked, you know, from console to mobile. So they're shared across both. So whatever cards and legends are available in mobile are available in console and vice versa. So what we're going to focus on here today is for you PES or eFootball mobile players. I still call it PES every now and again, lads. Let me know if you do as well. If it's just a slip of the tongue, you know, slip of the tongue. But we do have a new update file for iOS and Android as well. So there's a couple of different things. Obviously, all of this page here, right? All of this page here is the same. All of this to all of this is the same. So if you have missed the other video, just to give a run through of that, you've got Match Pass, you've got new way of signing players for standard player tickets, similar to how the nominating contracts will work, I imagine. You've got AI matches and challenge events. You can now change your national team or your real team in authentic match challenge events as well. So if you had picked Barcelona in a challenge event, you had to play as Barcelona through that entire event. Now you can just switch it says. Entry conditions, so there seems to be filters and seems to be like rules for like building a squad now for certain Dream Team challenge events. There's new missions for new users of eFootball, changes to the menu layout of missions and more, cursor change options to semi-assist and assisted. So again, all of this is in my other video. If you want to check that out, check it out. It's a 16-17 minute video and it goes into a lot of depth. But for this, we're just going to focus on the new edition or the new stuff that's going to be coming to mobile specifically. So a lot of this stuff is shared across. As I said, you've got new team data, player photos, manager photos, strips, stadium graphics, boots, commentary photo, all that sort of stuff. It doesn't say anything about new animations. On the console edition, it does say about new animations. So yeah, I mean, mobile guys aren't getting new animations based on these patch notes. But yeah, it's interesting to note what will be different when it does actually update and launch. So now on to the gameplay fixes and adjustments. There's 3 pages of it here. It's broken down into the same kind of way. So we've got first up dribbling, which I like to see an emphasis on dribbling. I think that balances the game a lot. If you can run around like a headless chicken after the ball and not get punished, dribbling is just a waste of time. You need to have dribbling in as something that's a game changer, that somebody can slow the pace down, that you don't have to fill your team with, you know, 10 Mbappes. You can slow the pace of the game down and control the pace of the game at your own leisure if you are able to pass the ball around the place and be an absolute beast in possession. So they've implemented enhancements to the response when switching between a normal dribble and a dash dribble. That means, you know, accelerating past with a dribble, double touching with the sprint, and then dashing forward with a dribble, kind of like a trick move without being a trick move. Implemented adjustments so that when switching between a normal dribble and a dash dribble, the directional inputs will now be reflected in a more correct manner. So again, the way that they describe this, I'm not a massive player of the eFootball mobile. I play it every now and again. But yeah, I'm not a massive player of it. I'm usually, you know, if I get time to play, it's always on console. But yeah, obviously the improvements to dribbling are good. And you can have a read through that. They're reduced inertia for small angle turns. So obviously you'll be able to turn a little bit tighter with Messi and players like Neymar and that. Adjustments so that when dribbling past an opponent, it is now less likely for a player to make contact and trip over. So they actually touch on this with the defendant back here as well. I'm just interested to see. Yeah, they do. So they have the exact same patch notes here for the mobile, as you can see there, iOS, Android at the top. This kind of links in with this. Fix the issue where shoulder charge from seemingly illegal angles, such as diagonally or behind, are not called as fouls. So it does link in with that if you are past the player, you've beaten him, you've left him for dead in his dust, you're going to be able to not be fouled from behind and get called for it. You know, if a player actually fouls you, then you're going to get a call for it. Where it seems to be balanced at the moment with the current gameplay, that if you did that, you'd more often than not get away with the foul. And then they also talk about, you know, stunning passes, making it more difficult or more easy to get them off. And then also when you're actually performing a kick or a shot right after attempting a large angle turn, the kick can now be performed more easily. So the second page then talks about passing, shooting, defending, goalkeeping, and other gameplay enhancements. So starting with here, just to mix it up a bit, they have implemented adjustments so that the player that can make the runs off a 1-2. So sometimes if you were making a run and say you were bringing the ball forward with Paddy V or Makalele in midfield, obviously because they're a more defensive based player, you would imagine that they'd pass the ball even if you wouldn't touch it. They pass it, they'll run a small bit, but then they'll go back into position. But if you've got a winger, if you've got Neymar, sometimes he would stop up and like decelerate. He wouldn't actually run on and accelerate into space or burst past the defender. So they fixed that. They have adjustments made to the teammates who are now making forward runs and will take the offside line into more. They'll think about it a little bit more and they'll decide whether to deaccelerate or accelerate or to stay put. Adjustments to the positioning of players for team play style out wide, so that the players, basically all they're saying in all of this here is that players that play out wide are going to stay out wide and players that play central are going to stay central, and players that are more attacking are going to attack more and players that are defensive are going to defend more. That's basically what they're saying here without, with 4 or 5 paragraphs or 4 or 5 lines in this paragraph. Fix the issue where shoulder charge, has covered that, and fix the issue regarding throw-ins and adjustments so that players will adequately dodge away from teammates in oncoming shots. Goalkeepers, they just talk about in the case of penalty kicks, now easier for goalkeepers to save pacey shots or shots towards the edge of the goal and parry them away, not back out into the danger area, which is big if it works. Defense, shooting and passing. So they've increased the overall speed of low passes. They've adjusted the low passes so that the cursor will now switch to a more suitable teammate. And they've adjusted the passing so that a more suitable kicking motion will be triggered when attempting a pass near opposition players. So the animations are just probably a little sped up, which obviously needs to be done for responsiveness issues. You are having that balance all the time between realistic sim versus responsive, kind of like, I won't say arcade, but yeah, responsive kind of super kind of uber sim is what I would call it, kind of arcadish. Fix the issue regarding loose ball situations where kicks and passes cannot be performed even if the player is first to the ball. So that would happen that if there was an interception or a block on a pass, that 2 players would run to the ball and you'd power up the power bar, but nothing would happen. Shooting, they also talk about increasing the odds of getting a dipping shot or rising shot on these. The attempts would be more accurate on them, the players that have that player skill. Adjustments so that when attempting a shot in the ball in mid-air, both a normal shot and stunning shot have a better dip on them. Implementing enhancements to the accuracy of first-time shots, off low passes from diagonally behind. Again, that's something I don't know with the wording of that. Do they mean that that's the passes? It is in the shooting way, but the shooting paragraph, but the way that they describe it, it sounds like to me that they're going to be about, like, it's the passing that you shoot, like that you'll be able to do a first time shot from a pass that comes into you when your body is kind of like your back is to the ball, kind of to the ball. I don't really know how to explain it. I need to draw a diagram. But yeah, look, if they're going to improve the shooting, that's all that matters. And then they also talk about defense, where they talk about the adjustments that the cursor will switch to a more appropriate player. Yeah, everybody would be happy with defending. I mean, look, lads, I think if they balance the dribbling and if they balance all this defending stuff, I think everything else will fall back into place. I am a little worried about the speed of the low passes, especially for players that play on the automated 1-bar pass assist, the fully automated pass assist. But yeah, let me know your thoughts on that. And then the last iOS Android update file details that they have on the page here is just a lot of general fixes. So you can have a read through that. It's just all about eliminating bugs, updating the UI, making it a little bit more ease of access and easier, the UX as well, the user experience, and a couple of other bits and pieces like, matchmaking process cancelling and alert messages and squad numbers resetting back and all that sort of stuff. So that is it for me, lads. Let me know what you think. That is just a mobile update. Let me know if you want to check out the console version of this. I go into it in a little bit more detail, but let me know which version you guys play, or do you play both? Do you play console? Let me know if you're a console gang or mobile gang or both gang. So yeah, let me know. I'll talk to you later, lads. We'll be back with a couple of more videos over the next day or two. Peace.